Hey everyone, it's Anna Bright here, #2 Pickleball Pro in the world, and if you're new here, please subscribe. I'm doing something all new in this video. I am going to be walking through a professional pickleball point that I played very recently, and we are going to do a bunch of what I call ADM exercises. These are super beneficial for your pickleball game and for developing your anticipation and decision-making skills, which is basically a muscle and your pickleball IQ. Anyone who tells you they're going to improve your pickleball IQ in like one day, one video is lying to you. It takes a long time to improve it, and it's just like building a muscle in the gym. That's why in the Brighter Pickleball Academy, we do these exercises every single day. It's really important to me, I think, for developing your skills as a player. So I'm going to show you guys how we do them. And then in the description and linked at the end of the video, there is an optional quiz you can take if you want to do a few more exercises. Applications are open right now for the Brighter Pickleball Academy. The next one launches on October 5th. So if you are interested and you find these exercises helpful and you want to learn more about how to get better at pickleball from me, I know a thing or two about this, I've helped hundreds of people, then by all means, please apply and I would love to see you in there. But otherwise, let's get into this point and I will show you what an ADM is. All right, so we're mostly going to be watching me this point. In the program, we do exercises on a bunch of different players, but right now, with my YouTube channel, we're going to talk about me. I can also pretty easily talk about myself. So this is a point that was played recently. It's 4-1 right now in the second playoff series match between us and the Texas Ranchers in Newport Beach, California. Kate hits a good serve, and we start to work our way in. Leia does a good job of keeping us back here for a couple of shots. So in ADM, it's basically what it is I'm going to freeze the frame and pause right before something impactful happens. All right, to me, an impactful decision is just a decision that meaningfully impacts a point. Usually going to be a pull or a ball in which someone could do something aggressive on. What's impactful for me might not be what's impactful for you. All right. But anyways, Leia hits a pretty good fourth here, but Kate and I are able to work our way in, and now everyone is established at the kitchen line, and we are effectively at neutral. This is the first place where we're going to pause it. So I have this flickable ball here. It's pretty low. It's kind of at the center of my body. You're going to generally have more options when the ball is away from your body, all right? Because then you can extend your arms more. When the ball's inside your body, you're a little bit more limited with options, okay? So we're gonna freeze the frame right here, and I want you to think about what I do with this ball. Do you think I'm gonna pull it up the line towards this open space at Caitlin, kind of try to go behind her, maybe catch her sitting backhand? Do you think I'm gonna go right at her center of mass? She's pretty close to the line. When women in particular are close to the line, it's a great opportunity to jam them. Oh, why is that arrow doing that? Okay. Do you think I'm going to pull it through the middle? All right. Do you think I might pull this ball all the way cross court at Leia and to try to jam her? Because Leia, in theory, does need to shift and help with the middle. So do you think I kind of try to beat her at rock, paper, scissors and go all the way cross court? High-level pickleball is a lot of rock, paper, scissors. That is one reason why in the academy we do a rock, paper, scissors tournament. Or do you think maybe I am going to hit a sharp angle kind of dink? Maybe over here. That is also a viable option. And what I choose to do or don't do isn't necessarily the only decision or the right decision. All right, but I must like this point. I must like the decisions I made if I'm walking us through it. All right, so again, our options are pull up the line. Let me get my arrows out again. Pull, thread this needle up the line. All right, try to catch Caitlin, maybe chicken wing her, go right at her center of mass, try to jam her, pull through the middle, pull all the way cross court, or off speed dink cross court, sharp angle dink. All right, think about your answer. Think about why you think what I did. You can pause the video if you want to think about it. I'm going to unpause and talk about what I did in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's back up 5 seconds. So Leia's pulled out a little bit wide here, so there's a good amount of space through the middle, and you have to think about what could I best handle if they're on. All right, so I'm a little off balance. Like I said, this ball is like really in front of my body. That is going to make it a lot tougher to go up the line. Going line would be very difficult, even though there is a lot of space. If I'm making contact with that ball like right here, then going up the line is far easier. But from here, this is pretty tough, so that's going to eliminate the line option. It's also going to eliminate for me like the option to go all the way kind of cross court. I would want to have a better angle to do that. So I don't really like going all the way cross court or sharp angle dinking all the way cross court here. The angles just aren't great for it. All right, that leaves kind of two pretty viable options, honestly. For me, that's going to be trying to jam KK right up in front of me or to go through the middle. So let's see what I choose to do. I choose to go through the middle and kind of set up a combo where I can sit forehand. I really like this decision from myself because with my positioning, it would be very hard for Leia to get the ball to this side of my body. All right, by going middle, I'm well positioned to just sit forehand on the next one, and you can see her counter kind of went right here, but I'm able to easily shift forehand and handle it. If I go right at KK here on this particular ball, when I have so much court exposed here, she could kind of easily counter to anywhere. If I am flicking at her from here, then I can more easily kind of sit one way and be more on the combo. But because of just court positioning, I definitely like my decision to pull middle. And we're ahead in the point, even though Leia hit a really good counter and she was on it. All right, so any opportunity where you can be still ahead and in a good position, even if they're on it, I really like you taking that pull. All right, let's continue the point. So that would be one ADM exercise. All right, and normally I follow different. I wouldn't walk all the way through doing a bunch in one point. We would do one isolated exercise every day in the academy. That's how the quiz will be. But that's what an ADM is. All right, so let's continue. So here, I don't like when they do this camera angle for my ADMs. It's a little bit less optimal, but totally fine. It's a good angle for viewership. Okay, so now things are a little bit different in the point, right? Kate and I are ahead. We're kind of more on the line, and Leia and KK are off the line. You look, they're very ready to counter, kind of paddles up, very central. They're ready to counter either way. They're not sitting too hard either which way. All right, so I have another flickable ball. Now my court positioning, I'm a lot closer to the sideline, which kind of is going to give me more angles in theory. I call this zone 1, kind of when you're more in the center of your box like I was in the first ADM exercise. It's more like zone 2. I call the middle of the court more zone 1. So do you think with this ball, I'm going to speed it up the line, all right, try to chicken wing KK. Do you think I am going to go speed up maybe through the middle again? Okay. Do you think I'm going to speed it up right at KK's center of mass? You can kind of see this ball, my arm is very straight. That, for me personally, is going to kind of eliminate cross-court options. All right? So, I ain't doing that. Do you think, or a speed up cross court? I could still dink this cross court, but from this particular angle, a speed up cross court when the ball's so low would be quite ill-advised. Leia would have way too much time to react. But she does have to think about middle, so I could still dink it. So, or do you think I'm going to hit a kind of a deep, kind of a dink maybe towards KK's left foot, or dink cross court, kind of more of a pushy flick dink? All right? Think about what you think I would do here, what would make the most sense. I will walk through my reasoning. You can pause the video. I walk through my reasoning in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's go back. So we're ahead in the point. You just want to maintain an advantage when you're ahead. You don't want to panic. So there, I go dink, cross, court. Not super sharp. I'm working on it. It's not really like that just yet. But let's talk about why I did that. I did not pull this ball because, look, the ball is so low. Both KK and Leia were actually moving up when I had it, all right? I just wouldn't be able to generate that much power here, and when women or anyone's a little bit off the line, it's just riskier because they can get a full cut at that ball. We want to be jamming people or catching them when they're moving as much as possible. When they're kind of stationary, it's tougher. Like that first flick, I was able to make Leia move. That's optimal. If someone is very stationary and you're not jamming them, not ideal. So I really like my decision to hit a kind of a more of a push neutral type of dink here to just maintain the advantage. And then the point continues on. A speed up here, Caitlin would have had too much time to react. A speed up cross court at Leia, not really viable. I like the decision to go cross court rather than right head to Caitlin, because if Caitlin had kind of crashed it really hard, which she has a tendency to do, she's very athletic, I might have gotten in trouble a little bit. So I like to go cross court to Leia. This was definitely not a ball to pull. A push, neutral dink towards KK would have been totally fine too, just a little bit less margin for error, and I chose to do the option with a higher margin for error. So there's not always a speed up is the right choice in these. Okay, point continues on. We're back to neutral, dinking. Kate, really good fade here. Kate earns herself a higher ball from Leia. Not too high, though. Not too high at all. Really not a terrible shot from Leia at all. All right, so what do you think Kate does here? Let's now do an ADM on Kate. Do you think Kate, look at Leia. She's super, super ready to counter. Both Leia and Caitlin, that's my alarm. It's 7 a.m. Sorry about that. Okay, so both Leia and KK are super ready to counter here. Do you think Kate is going to speed it up the line? All right, do you think she will speed it up right at Leia's center of mass? Do you think she is going to go speed up through the middle? Do you think she's going to go, this ball's a little too low for a true cross-court pull. Do you think she's going to go deep, aggressive, left foot dink here, kind of catch them as they're really ready to counter? Do you think she's going to go sharp, angled dink, cross-court? All right, just think about court positioning, all right? Leia is very close to the sideline here. KK is very much posted up in the middle. All right, so go ahead and pause if you want to think about it. I will walk through reasoning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so here, the first option I would not really love is if Kate tried to go up Leia's line here. All right, you see Leia is so close to the line. Leia can pretty comfortably sit forehand here quite hard just because this would be very tough to execute for Kate. For Kate, from this ball, Kate's not making contact right on the sideline. This she could totally do, and if she executed it, it would probably work. All right, because Leia is going to sit really hard forehand here in this situation. Leia's going to kind of give her that 1 foot of space. Like if you can get it, great. It would also be tough for Kate to do it with enough power, though, that Leia wouldn't be able to handle being wrong. Being able to handle being wrong, so important. All right, being able to handle when you guess wrong, super important. But it would be tough for Kate to generate enough pace here that Leia couldn't handle it. So I like Leia sitting hard forehand here, which she is. I would like, Kate could go more so center of mass on Leia and try to jam her. Leia's pretty close to the line. When women are pretty close to the line, on most women, it's a good idea to jam them, especially if you take big tennis swing cuts like I do, and a lot of the pro women do. Not all of them. Danielle Townsend doesn't. Georgia doesn't really do it, so they're a little tougher to jam. Lacey Schneeman, Tyra also very good, so the game's a little bit different against them. Center of mass could work too, but again, Leia's sitting forehand, so it'd be tough, you know. But it could work. It could work. But again, the ball's low, tough to generate a lot of pace. Speeding it up through the middle is the easiest possible speed up. But Caitlin is, you know, pretty well positioned to be on that. All right. So that kind of leaves, again, that would not be a bad option necessarily at all. All right. But that leaves Kate with a couple options. She could go aggressive dink, kind of left foot, aggressive dink all the way cross court. I think a speed up middle here would have been really, like, totally could have worked, especially because Leia is so close to the sideline. So she doesn't take a true middle, but maybe she takes it a little bit more right here. So Caitlin really has to move just because Leia is so close to the sideline and is sitting forehand here. Let's see what Kate chooses to do. She sets herself up super well. You can see she goes shot cross court. Let's watch Caitlin's feet. Watch Caitlin's feet. Caitlin is super ready for the middle. She openly shifts towards it, and Kate is able to get the ball back behind her, sharp cross court. That's a very, very difficult shot to hit. All right, probably the most difficult of the second most difficult option. I think the most difficult option would have been this true speed up the line. I don't think a lot of women can do that super effectively. Georgia Johnson could have done it. She probably has the best forehand out of the air in the women's game. But that would have been the most difficult option. This option Kate chose, second most difficult option, but she executes it masterfully. And I love it because just, again, watch KK. She shifts so hard for the middle. Watch Leia. Leia is sitting forehand. You see Leia shifts this way. Out of her split step, KK shifts towards the backhand. So what Kate did here is really smart and really kind of opens up the court for us. But this is a super difficult shot and one that, like, I don't know that a lot of women would have gone for here, but just kind of is a small nuanced thing that shows how good Kate has gotten. All right, so that was super smart. That was definitely her best available option because she can execute it well. If, like, I don't know that I would have gone for that. I'm going to be completely honest. All right, but so good from Kate, and we're able to maintain an advantage. All right, we're going to pause it again here. So Kate, this is a very actionable point. A lot of interesting things happen. All right, so we're going to pause it here. What do you think I do with this ball? So Caitlin hits like a pretty kind of neutral, bordering between neutral and dead type of dink when she's recovering after Kate's shot. So we have the advantage again. I Kate sets me up to have this ball where I have a few options. I will pause it there. I'm firmly in the middle of the court. I have a forehand. You can see again, both girls are very ready to counter. They're not super far off the line though. They don't have an abundance of time. All right, do you think I'm going to speed this up? Try to jam Leia. All right, maybe go right at her center of mass. I think I'm going to speed it up through the middle. Speed it up inside in at Caitlin. You can see she's kind of sitting back in. Both girls are like their bodies angled towards me. That's going to be optimal. Do you think I am going to hit a dink inside out? Kind of aggressive dink. Leia's ready to counter, so a dink would be something to kind of catch her off guard, maintain the advantage. I don't want to pull and risk kind of losing the advantage. Or do you think I am going to go kind of aggressive dink to KK's left foot? Same mentality. The goal of a speed up is to maintain the advantage in a point. All right. The goal of a speed up is not to win the point outright. It is not to hit a winner. All right. If those are your mentalities, you're going to like you're just not thinking about it correctly. The goal is to maintain an advantage. All right. So if I think by pulling this ball, I might completely lose the advantage, not worth it. All right. That's kind of how you want to be thinking about it. That's how the best pros are thinking about it. All right. It's not like an end all be all. All right. If it doesn't work, it's fine. As long as it got you ahead in the point, it was successful in theory. All right. So think about what you think I do here. I will walk through my reasoning in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So we have to look at the height of this ball. All right. I am making contact around my knee. It would be pretty hard to hit an effective speed up on this ball. It could be done if I sped this up. It totally could have worked, but I don't. You've probably inferred. All right. Leia and Caitlin are both very balanced here. They're very balanced. They're very ready to counter. I don't have too much ability to make them move with the speed up. I could try to jam Leia here, but again, the ball's just kind of low. She's going to be able to shift pretty well. Leia's going to be kind of sitting forehand here to cover middle, and I probably cannot jam her well enough and catch her on her backhand enough that it would be like particularly worthwhile. I think I could do it, but it might work like 50% of the time, and we are so ahead in this point that why would I take a 50%? 50% isn't really worth taking here. All right, so middle I don't really love. Jamming Leia I think is my best true speed up option, because if I tried to jam Caitlin, with the angles of the court, it would be very hard for me to like jam Caitlin sufficiently enough that she couldn't potentially burn me backside. Everyone's kind of heard of the triangle theory. If I go speed up at Caitlin, she's well positioned to kind of crank it back inside in, because I probably can't find her forehand and keep the ball in. I like the speed up option at Leia more, because from this angle, I could potentially like kind of find her backhand and still keep the ball in, but inside in is the toughest shot in the game. It's a level differentiator if you're very good at it, because you're dealing with the highest part of the net and the shortest part of the court. All right, so I would not, the inside in option here would be my worst possible option. That leaves the dink options. And it's just kind of about, I want to maintain the advantage of the point. Either option would be fine, but let's see what I choose to do, and then I'll talk through kind of why I like it. I go inside out. All right. I go inside out because the toughest shot, like I kind of want to stay posted up in the middle of the court. I'm in the middle of the court. That's where I want to stay. All right. If I go deep dink, and it would have been totally fine to do this. I'm just walking through my reasoning. It wouldn't have been wrong if I chose to do this per se. But if I had gone that was a terrible arrow. If I chose to hit the ball, like more so to here, Caitlin could have kind of like gone back behind me more easily. By going all the way out to Leia here when she is so sitting middle, the natural reset dink for her is going to be like more back towards the middle of the court. Okay, I think I went back too far. You see Leia's backing up, actively giving me the space. If I go here, which again would not have been wrong, I just think it would have been easier for them to get the ball away from me. So I go to Leia, and then she tries to get it back behind me, which is the toughest kind of shot for her to reset all the way across court. There's a reason why most reset dinks go middle in line. It is just easier to execute when you're hurt. And then I get this ball that's higher, but high to my backhand. Tough to do a bunch with this ball, but you can see both Caitlin and Leia are immediately backing up off the line. And here, the natural shot is to go middle or cross court, but here you can see I actually fade and kind of surprise Caitlin. If you have a two-hander or, you play the left, it's good to be able to go up the line with a high backhand because you can kind of surprise people, which I did here. We're not doing an ADM on it because, like, obviously I'm not hitting a dink. There's not that many viable options. You can see I surprise her. She is sitting backhand. On this ball, you see backhand. She shifts. She handles being wrong decently well. And then I have this ball here. All right, this will be our last ADM of the point. So what do you think I do with this ball? I'm a little bit off the line, but I have like some court to work with. Like when you're further off the line, you can kind of make more happen. You can make the ball go up and down versus that other one we did when I was like right here. I don't have that much time to get the ball up and over the net. Here I have more options. And I have really good vision here too. I really like pulls like that are inside out. So on the right side with the backhand, no one really does that near as well as Anna Lee, or on the left side with a forehand, because you can see the court very well from this position. So do you think I'm going to speed this ball up inside in? Caitlin, I have a better angle to go inside in now than I did from the middle of the court, because now by the triangle where Caitlin would naturally hit the ball, I am like kind of standing there. All right. So I could go inside in at Caitlin. I could go speed up through the middle. I could also go hard speed up all the way inside out at Leia, because Leia has to kind of shift and help in the middle, and I have a good angle to jam her here. She has a lot of time to react. I'm far off the line, but I could, in theory, jam her with this ball. Or do you think I am going to hit a very aggressive dink inside out and kind of also, again, catch her when she is shifting for the middle? Or do you think I am going to go maybe like aggressive deep dink here? All right, I will talk through what I did in my reasoning in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. The option, my least favorite option here would be a dink to Caitlin's left foot. This ball is high. They're off the line. The percentages here are good enough that I need to do something aggressive. That option would be the least aggressive of my possible options. All right, I would not have minded another very aggressive dink out wide here. That could have been fine, especially if I kind of like faded open with my wrist and kind of held it till the very last second. But it's not what I do. This is an attackable ball for me, and I'm going to pull it. It's high enough that I'm going to take that. I'm going to take it. I'm going to say I can maintain an advantage here if I pull. All right. So the easiest pull to execute on this ball is through the middle, and both Leia and Caitlin know that. All right, everyone kind of has eventually at a high enough level an intuitive idea of what is easiest to execute. So then you have to choose, is it best to execute what's easiest, or is it best to kind of try to be tricky? Rock, paper, scissors. Chess. But I can't play chess, so I do rock, paper, scissors. All right. Hard all the way inside out at Leia, I would have liked, but if Leia was on it and I didn't hit it super well and she's sitting forehand, she would have been well positioned to kind of kill the next counter at Kate. So I don't think that was the best option. All right, and I want to set up a combo for myself here. All right, I have so many options that if I did that, Kate is kind of thinking about sitting backhand. After my shot, you can see she's watching me very closely. I am a fan of like kind of tracking or half tracking. I'm not a fan of just keeping your eyes forward all the time. I think there's so much information you gain by watching your partner. Kate is kind of thinking about sitting backhand and helping me in the middle. So if I go all the way out here and Leia has the ability to go inside in and find Kate's forehand, we could be behind in that point. So again, it's something I could do, but I just don't think it's highest ROI. That leaves middle and inside in. Middle could have worked. Totally middle could have worked, but I choose to go inside in here, and I'm going to talk through why I really like that. You can see Caitlin is super neutral. She's not sitting either which way because I have both options available to me. Going middle, there's just a better chance that the ball kind of gets away from me. So by going, I kind of catch Caitlin. She's in motion. She's not really sitting either which way. She doesn't have a good read on it. She's late, and then, like I said, I can really stay in my box, and it would be quite hard for her to get that ball away from me. So I set up a nice combo for myself. We were very much ahead in the point after this pull, and that's the goal of a speed up. All right, everyone, let me know if you enjoyed this type of video. This is just the tiniest little nugget and insight into what we do in the Brighter Pickleball Academy. If you are interested in being a part of it, it's an amazing community. It's the best program in pickleball. Everyone who's been through the program absolutely loves it. And this is a little taste of like my pickleball IQ, and I would love to share more of it with you guys. There's also a quiz you can take if you want to do a few more of these. We will be releasing the answers periodically. And subscribe if you're new. I do a lot of vlog content. I've done some on-court instructional content. This is my first time doing a video like this. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you thought of these. Bye, everyone.